Hi, I'm Jan McCarthy, the entrepreneurial guru, and I am so excited to be here today talking with Evie of the Ideal Legal Group. She's an entrepreneur, and I can't wait to find out your story of how you got started, what brought you to this place, and what you're doing. So,
Thank you.
If you're at a cocktail party and somebody comes up and says, "What do you do?" what would you say?
Well, I'm a lawyer, but it's never a fun thing to say when you're at a cocktail party. So I always say, well, it depends. If it's a cute, good-looking man, I said, you would definitely want to talk to me. And then the guy would say, why? And my reply is I'm helping you to hide your asset from all your exes or mother of your child. So I'm the person you need to talk to.
I think you have a great hook.
So that's my open statement at the cocktail party. So hopefully at least I get the client that way. It's a great icebreaker.
Mm-hmm. That sounds great. So tell me how you got started with all of this. Do you come from a family of attorneys? Did you just have this burning passion? How'd you get started?
Well, I always know that I want to be an attorney since I was a little girl. I don't know if I'm going to be an attorney in Taiwan or I was going to be an attorney in the U.S. I came here when I was 12, so I can still read and write in Chinese. When I went to law school, my mom said, you can do any law you want, but the one that you can practice is family law. And I think maybe I wanted to go against my parents, or I don't know. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to be a family law attorney. And then once I start practicing, I love it. I enjoy. And I was a divorced child. My dad married 4 times. My mom married twice. So I've been there personally myself as the children went to a divorced family. And I find it very interesting because divorced family law, you actually just not practicing the legal part of it, but you actually being somebody's counselor and therapist and just being their friends because, you know, they're going through the hardest time of their life and sometimes just want somebody to be there for them.
Yeah, I love the way you're describing that, and it sounds like you have such a sense of compassion and care and nurturing. So what made you, I can understand that little bit of rebellion, but what attracted it to you? Were you thinking about your own experiences when you said, this is the area that I think I'd like to focus on?
Yeah, I think a lot of time when people are going into divorce, they're so emotionally involved that they forgot the little one, which is the children, which is me. And I think when I was growing up, my parents divorced. My mom would tell me to call my dad because I would be the messenger. You tell your dad this. And then my dad would say, well, tell your mom this. The whole process of communication that they have is through me, which you should never do that. So I become the messenger. By growing up that way, I always wish they have a better way to deal with each other. I don't expect them to be together, and I know sometimes, you know, the best couple doesn't mean they have to marry to each other or raise a family together. They try. If that everything else fails, at least I would hope that they think about the little one. At least in that process, they can still be a good parent.
Yeah.
And because of that, I always know that's what I want to do, and it's also a way to discover me and to help myself. Because being a messenger between your mom and dad wasn't fun for me when I was growing up.
Really being pulled both ways. Well,
yes, because I love them both.
Yeah, of course.
So.
And you know, so many women, especially women, when they're starting a business, they start it from a place of pain or passion. And they go after something that's kind of close to their heart. So I love that you took an experience that you had as a child and really sought to become a lawyer, to be able to help children and to be able to be the best lawyer where you could really make a difference here. And I admire that and applaud that very much so. So going through school, deciding you're going to do this, you graduate, and now all of a sudden you're on your own. What do? Do you join a firm? Which direction do you go? There's so many decisions to make, and you actually have your very own firm. So how did that come about? Did you go to work for someone first, or?
I was a DA first because I wanted to get, you know, when you were little, you watch TV, you see the court show, that was so glamorous to be in front of the judge and make your opening opinion and stuff. So I wanted to be in court. So the first thing I did was be a DA for child support, because that's something to do with the family law, but you also get the court experience. But I have like high student loan, and we wasn't doing so well. The county wasn't doing so well, so my salary wasn't high. And then I got recruited to a private firm, and I was working long hours. I would be there Friday night till midnight. I would be there on Saturday morning, just build my hour. But I never get a chance to actually one-on-one to be with the clients. Always the senior partner who does that. The senior partner gets to do the trial. The senior partner gets to meet the client. So I was just more like handling the case, the paper part of it, but I never meet the person, and that's kind of missing the point why I'm doing family law. So after a while, I figure I was a top biller in my firm. I know I work hard, and I know I actually enjoy practicing law. Why not do it myself? And I like challenge. The more you tell me I can't do it, the more I want to do it. So I figure, you know what? I'm just going to open my firm. I'm a lawyer. What's the worst going to happen to me? If I can't get any client, I don't get any cases, I can always go back to work for another law firm, because I know that my partner, my senior partner, are going to write me a good recommendation. I would always work hard, build the hour, so I know I can make the money for the firm. So that's how it all started.
Well, I think that's great, though, because you were building upon your experience, building upon your confidence, and knowing that you can do that. And it is and can be a little bit frightening to leave that, what we perceive as a safe, secure spot, to go out and launch it on our own. But you knew that you had the perseverance and the determination and the desire to be able to get the ideal client that you wanted, which was really helping the children, whereas before it sounds like you were just working, but not really being able to work with the specific client that you really wanted to work with.
Exactly, and that's exactly how I felt when I was working for somebody else in a law firm, because I was thinking that was not the reason why I wanted to do family law, and definitely not the reason why I wanted to practice. I got the experience of being in court, which I did not was a DA for child support service. I only got that. So while I'm still here, and then all I'm doing is hiding behind a bunch of paper and cases, and I never get to see the client myself. And it would make my job very interesting, because you meet so many different people, and everyone are different in how to feel, how to deal with things, and the children are adorable. It's a great way. For me, it's like I wake up in the morning and I'm looking forward to going to my work, because I know I'm going to talk to my clients. And now I would be like, how was your last week? Did you went on a date? How was that? So they're almost like my friend. Yeah. And I just wanted them to get better. I just wanted to go do this procedure and move on the next day.
Well, your passion and your enthusiasm for what you do really shines through, and I think especially considering the field that you're in, that can be very challenging and really tug at your heartstrings and be very emotional in terms of thinking what might be happening with these children and these families. Your enthusiasm for doing everything you can to help them really shines through, and I'm sure really contributes to you being so successful. And I think knowing that you could always, building on what you had done, that you can always go back and really looking, I like what you said, I'm looking at what's the worst that can happen.
Exactly.
The worst that can happen is I can go back and do what I was already doing, even if it didn't make me happy.
Right.
But I think that's something, a great takeaway for women, or really anybody who's thinking about starting their own business, to say, yeah, what's the worst that can happen? And life is short. And it sounds like you really got that lesson early on.
Well, I got lucky, because I don't think I'm going to be living on the street. I thought about that. That was one thing. I was like, well, am I going to be homeless? I think I'm okay. I have a small little apartment, which to have the rent is really cheap. So I figured, I'd be okay.
I can make it happen,
I can
right?
Make this.
Yeah, that sounds great. So were there any fears that you had when you said your last goodbye and they gave you your going away party and you walked out the door? Was there just elation? Was there a little bit of fear?
You know what? Sometimes, my mom always saying this to me. Sometimes when you're not that bright, it's actually a blessing. I started my firm in 2006, and I still remember the date because someone asked me that, and I said it's April 13, 2006. I don't know why. I don't remember people's birthday. I don't remember my mom's birthday, but I remember the day I opened my practice.
Was that a Friday too?
No, I don't remember the day of that. I should. It's one of the weekday I remember. But I just went for it, and I figured the worst that can happen, I just go back to a firm, and I have nothing to lose. It's almost like, if you're asking my girlfriend, they would tell you that it's almost like I have no fear because I don't think enough.
And that's good. That's good.
My mind just go, go, go.
They say if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Do you ever have any of those moments?
I do ask myself that question since now I know how it's like to have my own business, and I'm thinking, why do you do that? And I'm like, you know what? I have no regret. I love it, and if you want me to go back to a firm again, I don't think so. I really enjoy my work. It's almost like your own baby. You create something that you love, and because this is something you create, you love, and you want to do the best you can. When you work for somebody else, or when you're doing something you're not passionate about or love, you don't have that percentage. You just don't feel, you just don't wake up in the morning and say, God, I love going to the office.
Right.
But when you have something that you create, every morning is like a new day because you learn things every single day. Every day is a challenge because I learn everything. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a human management resource. But you have to learn that when you create your own business. You pretty much have to wear many hats. So every single day when I go to my office, I feel like I'm learning something new every day.
I love your sense of curiosity, and that's great because that's so necessary when you are doing your own business because there are challenges. So what has been some of the greatest challenges that you've had to deal with in having your own business?
Finance, money.
Okay. Meaning wondering whether it's coming in or having to have a certain amount to get an office.
Both.
All of the
everything. The reason I went to the reason I went to law school, obviously, is because I'm not good with math. I definitely have no concept of money. So this is something I had to learn on my own by having my own business. I have no idea what's my income, like what's the outflow, what's my expense going to be, and just through the year you figure out, you learn day to day. So money was one thing, and also you had to learn how to be a marketable person, how you do marketing. In law school, I wasn't learning how to market my business, so you just kind of pick it up on your own. So you have to make sure you market your business to get more clients. You also have to know what your finance is going to be. You're learning about accounting. Another thing, human resource. Lawyers not known to be friendly people and know how to deal with people all the time.
I think you're the exception to the rule here.
Thank you. I know, because most people hire attorneys to be a bulldog, right? So human resource, once you start having staff, you wanted to make sure you have a good communication skill with your staff. Hiring, firing, what you look for, what you don't look for. Even the firing, how you let people go without hurting their feelings. I mean, I remember the person I had to fire, I had to watch that movie Up in the Air because I wasn't sure how you do it. So I figured I'd watch a movie, I learned what to say, and I'm going to say the same thing. That would be helpful. It was horrible.
Oh my goodness. What a role model, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm very impressed that you've taken the steps. Now your firm has grown, and one of the things that I'm impressed with is that typically women in particular, they do feel like their company is a baby, and they feel like they need to do it all, and they have a hard time recognizing that it's helpful if they go out and get people to do the things that they're not good at. So whereas you said you weren't good in math, but either you had to become proficient or you had to go out and find someone who could do that for you, do that aspect, the financial aspect of your business for you. You have grown your company. You've brought in other associates.
Yep.
And so What gave you the insight to know that this is what I need to do, and how has that experience been? And tell me a little bit, or is it all family law within the firm, or is it a variety of different type of law practices?
I think one thing about myself that if someone asked me what's your best quality about yourself, I would say I know what I'm not good at. That I know when I made a mistake, and I know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And so things that I'm not good at, I will rather hire somebody who is expert and who's good at that to help me. It's called a teamwork. We complement each other. So in my firm, I don't treat anybody different. I'm the boss and there's someone who works for me. I treat my office like a teamwork. We all want to make ideal legal group to grow. You helping me on this part because this is part that I'm not good at. I'm better at this part. I will focus on this part. So, and that's how we grow so much over the last 5-6 years. We have office in New York now. We have office recently in San Francisco. Is to know what you're good at and what you're not good at, and be okay with it. You either get better at it, like you said, which I'm trying to learn about accounting. I'm trying to learn about human resources, and the other stuff where I know somebody who has a talent and good at it. I respect their opinion. I listen to what they have to say. And that's the reason of originally my firm was just family law, and now we start doing employment law. We deal with labor issues and workers' comp issues. So we help a lot of small business owners how to run the business. And I love that because we establish long-term relationship. All our clients, just like our